Have you ever noticed that some people barely talk, but somehow they seem to notice everything? They sit quietly in a group. They listen more than they speak. And while everyone else is talking, they seem completely comfortable saying nothing. But here's what's interesting. Talking less does not always mean someone is shy, insecure, or antisocial. Sometimes there is a lot more happening beneath the silence. Some people simply don't feel the need to turn every thought into words. Think about it. You might know someone who can spend an entire conversation listening carefully, then suddenly say one sentence that makes everyone stop and think. They weren't ignoring the conversation. They were processing it. Quiet people often observe before they participate. They notice facial expressions, tone of voice, small changes in behavior. They may pay attention to things that other people completely miss. And because they spend more time observing, they may prefer speaking when they actually have something meaningful to contribute. That is one reason some quiet people dislike small talk. It's not necessarily because they dislike people. They may simply prefer conversations that have a purpose. Instead of talking just to fill silence, they would rather talk about an idea, a goal, a problem, a relationship, or something they genuinely care about. But there is another side to being quiet. Sometimes silence comes from thinking too much. A person may have several thoughts in their head at once. They are thinking about what to say, how it might sound, how the other person might react, whether it is worth saying at all. So while everyone else sees silence, their mind may actually be extremely busy. And sometimes, people become quieter because they have learned something important. Not every argument needs a response. Not every opinion needs to be defended. Not every person deserves an explanation. As people grow older, they often realize that protecting their peace can be more valuable than winning every conversation. That can make someone appear distant. But distance and indifference are not always the same thing. Some quiet people actually care deeply. They just don't always express their feelings through constant conversation. They may show care through actions. They remember small details. They check on you when you are struggling. They listen when you need someone. They might not say much, but when they do, they often mean it. And this is where quiet people are sometimes misunderstood. Someone who talks less can easily be labeled as rude. Someone who keeps to themselves can be called arrogant. Someone who doesn't join every conversation can be seen as uninterested. But you can never understand a person simply by measuring how much they talk. Silence has many meanings. Sometimes it means confidence. Sometimes it means observation. Sometimes it means emotional control. Sometimes it means overthinking. And sometimes it simply means the person is comfortable being themselves without constantly needing attention. So if you are someone who talks less than everyone else, there may be nothing wrong with you. You don't have to become the loudest person in the room to have value. You don't have to speak constantly to be interesting, and you don't have to explain your silence to everyone. Because sometimes the person saying the least is the person